Welcome back into Southeastern 16 with Jay Greeson. I'm Chase Robinson, as we are going to preview the season for the 2025 LSU Tigers. This is an interesting one, Jay. I mean, this is a team that, okay, got to have a good season this year if you're Brian Kelly and LSU. Okay, let's go get some guys out of the portal. And boy, did they do that. They brought some great guys in. And I think LSU fans, there's a lot to be excited about. High expectations for the Tigers, but a lot to be excited about.
Well, without question. And I mean, it's football, especially at night in Red Stick. There's reason to be excited just because of the environment. Look, I've been to, I think, 11, 12 of the 16 SEC schools. And other than my alma mater, my favorite trip, the handful of times I've gotten to go, was to Baton Rouge. Now, a lot of times when you go and follow your team down there, you're going to walk out with an L. But man, oh man, what a great environment! What an awesome atmosphere! And you're right. I mean, there are a lot of question marks around this league, but considering a number of the mistakes he's made, and not all of them have to do directly with football coaching. But Brian Kelly, it's not been a smooth transition. He's what, 0-3 in season openers with the Tigers? Heck, last year, I think he paid a loser's tax. I mean, he gave $1 million to their NIL collective out of his own pocket, which actually is money well spent. I mean, it makes a whole lot of sense, especially if that's a job you're hoping to keep long term, which also adds to, I mean, almost every recruiting service says this is LSU's offseason acquisition in college football free agency, aka the portal, was consensus number one by just about everything I looked at all offseason.
Yeah, I mean, the talent is there for this LSU team, and Garrett Nussmeier, a big part of that. He threw for over 4,000 yards and 29 touchdowns a season ago. He's a guy who's been at LSU. He's sat in the background. He waited his turn. He's had his turn now, and is a proven quarterback and had great numbers last year. One thing though, they only had Aaron Anderson returning at wide receiver. He had 61 catches, 884 yards, 5 touchdowns. So they had to go get some more receivers, and they did just so. They got Barry and Brown from Kentucky, Nick Anderson from Oklahoma, who are expected to be starters alongside Anderson. So they really built up that wide receiver room with some good guys to go around. Nussmeier has got that great arm.
And what a lot of people don't know, in addition to being a great complimentary piece, Barry and Brown may be the best kick returner in all of college football. So, I mean, you're talking about not only did you bring in guys to fill offensive positions, you brought in guys who can be difference makers on special teams. And look, the only question I think anybody could have about the LSU offense deals with the big faceless guys up front, because Aaron Anderson is the next in the unbelievable lineage of LSU superstar wide receivers. If Barry and Brown is their third option in the perimeter, you got to feel real good about your chances. And when he could stay healthy, I would rather tackle Chinese trigonometry than Caden Durham, because that guy is low to the ground and has got that nastiness. Like, he enjoys the physicality and the contact. You know it?
Yeah.
And you're also talking about a team that may have QB1 round one in next spring's NFL draft. I mean, the stat I saw is I think he's the only guy returning to college football who threw for more than 4,000 yards last year.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's I really like what they have offensively. And you mentioned Caden Durham, Caleb Jackson, another running back who I think, and just listening to some things last week at SEC Media Days, they're really high on him. Interested in you mentioned the offensive line, and you lose Will Campbell and Emory Jones Jr. Those are two really good guys up front that'll be playing on Sundays now. And so they're really having to rework the offensive line, find some guys to step in. They brought in a couple of transfers as well. But the offensive line is going to be important to see and intriguing to see how they kind of rework that to go around this high-powered offense.
I think that's the thing that keeps Brian Kelly up at night, that and practicing his Cajun accent, which really needs a whole lot of work from the clips from a year ago. And it's doubly important when you've got, I'm not going to say Garrett Nussmeier is slow, because he could assuredly outrun my 54-year-old tottering self, but he is a more traditional play action 5-7 step drop guy that he's not going to be able to extend a play like his great predecessor Jaden Daniels did, or some of the other guys around this league, of Lenoris Sellers or even Arch Manning, who can move. But if they're not able to protect the passer, this is going to be a frustrating year of some uber talented skill dudes not be able to get the production that we would expect.
Yeah, that's very true. And so offensively, I like what I see from the LSU Tigers. Moving over to the defensive side of the ball, Jay. I mean, Harold Perkins, the guy we talked about going into last season a lot, unfortunately went down with the injury, but he's coming back, and we'll be there in that linebacker safety spot. He's just one of the names. Weeks is expected to be ready to go, and there for the opener with Clemson. They went out and got some key pieces defensively as well. I think of Jack Pyburn from Florida, a guy they've brought in. Patrick Payton from Florida State. Like they went out and got some dudes for this defense.
Bona fide dudes, Chase. And but I think it all starts with making certain not only is Harold Perkins healthy, but that Harold Perkins is in a place. Schematically, I was puzzled with some of the decisions they made putting him in a coverage spot. This is a guy who wreaks havoc. He's a disruptor. Just go blow stuff up, Harold Perkins. And now is a fair time to remind folks, I love the number tradition at various schools. Ole Miss does it for Chucky Mullins. LSU defensive guys who wear 7, that's because they've got a certain level of respect within the program, which is what Harold Perkins is going to wear this fall. I think it could be a great year for him. And I think he is a total difference maker if utilized the right way.
Yeah, I certainly agree with you there. And again, defense is going to be very important. They did go out and get some guys in on the corners as well to bring into this roster. They went and got Virginia Tech's Mansour Delane. They got a freshman in DJ Pickett, who they're really high on there at corner. So they've gone out, like we've said, if they felt they needed somebody at a certain position, they went and got somebody. And it wasn't just, picking somebody off the street. No, they went and got a good player at that position. And which is really fascinating to me, because we've heard Brian Kelly say in the past, he was not into the, buying his, I think it was a quarterback position a couple of years ago. And he said, well, he's not in the business of buying that. Well, he went and bought a lot of players this year, and I think it's going to pay off for him, especially like we've been talking about defensively. Like these are legit players that he has brought in on the defensive side of the ball in every position they needed.
Well, and with the exception of the offensive line, and I think it's a real interesting conversation, because in the offseason, and this is late July, we're a week after SEC Media Days, it becomes very easy for guys like you and me and average Joe LSU fan to look, okay, how many returning starters do we have? LSU does not have a huge number of returning starters, but what they do have is a huge number of dudes who started last year. They just didn't do it in Red Stick. Yeah. So, I mean, this is if the offensive line play is above average, I think this is an LSU team that can get to Atlanta. I really do. And I think it is an LSU team that will be in the playoff conversation all year because you've got a quarterback you trust. You've got unbelievable dudes around him. You have rebuilt a defense in the modern college football free agency form. I think a sneaky important question for this team is whether or not, pardon me, I'm sorry, is Trey'Dez Green ready to be what Mason Taylor was for Garrett Nussmeier last year at tight end on those 3rd and 7s, on those drive extending plays that I think Mason Green's going to be a great NFL tight end. And that was one, and they brought in portal guys to add depth at that spot too, but making certain Garrett Nussmeier has a guy that he has that connection with, and I'm certain they're working hard. I'm certain the chemistry will be there because the talent is there. Yeah. But the talent is I think the way I phrased it when we were discussing Alabama earlier in our Southeastern 16 previews is I think Alabama is as talented 2 through 22 because we just don't know about the quarterback. If you add one in there, because we know what Garrett Nussmeier is, and he's probably going to be a top 10 pick in next year's NFL draft. I don't know if this roster has the starters have 1 through 22 has to apologize to any collection of kids across the SEC. It's just, can the line get it done?
Yeah, I think that's a very fair assessment. They'll start things off at Clemson, which, look, I know we're an SEC channel, but a lot of people high on Clemson with Cade Klubnik and company there for Dabo in Clemson, South Carolina. But they go to Clemson, Battle of the Tigers, Battle of Death Valley, whatever you want to call it. It's an important game for Brian Kelly. You made mention to the record earlier. He's 0-3 in openers and has had a chance in all those games to win them, and he hasn't. First 2 out of the first 3 games are very important because you got Clemson, then you got Louisiana Tech. They come to Tiger Stadium, and then you host Florida. So Clemson and Florida in your first 3 games. This team's going to have to come out ready quickly in this 2025 season, which we know they're capable of. Like it's just the way it lays out for them. They don't have any room to go into this season slowly.
No, completely agree. And it is, I really hope, and I don't think either would do it because the moniker is so valuable to each, but I would love for either AD to say, winner of this game gets to be the real Death Valley of the Clemson LSU game.
Yeah.
But you're right, because the Florida games just it may even be more important because in the modern era, I've said it a time or two for those of y'all who are consuming all of our previews, and we greatly appreciate it and patronize our sponsors that Chase will tell you about here in a little bit. But you get to 10 wins in this league and you're a playoff team, whether you get to Atlanta or win the conference or whatever. I get, in some ways, these monster matchups, Texas going to Ohio State, LSU going to Clemson. All 4 of those teams are on just about everybody's short list of playoff contenders. In some ways, as long as you don't get blown out, it comes across as a mulligan in the era of expanded playoffs, which I don't like because I think college football's regular season is the best regular season in sports. But as you expand the playoff, that every week, every Saturday is a Super Bowl mentality is going to fade away some. So I can make an argument that the Florida game, September 13th in Red Stick, is probably more important than the Clemson game.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And then I mean, you look, they've got Florida, Ole Miss, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, Alabama, Arkansas, and Oklahoma as the SEC games. So there's some good teams in there for sure. And so again, this is a talented LSU team. We will find out quickly on August the 31st or August the 30th. Really what we're looking at with this team as they take the field against Clemson in what is an important year for Brian Kelly and LSU. We'll have you covered on all things LSU here on the channel. And LSU fans, you need to go to GameTimeSidekicks.com getting ready for this season because they have got officially licensed stainless steel drinkware for all SEC schools, including LSU. Some cool LSU cups that I know LSU fans still enjoying the baseball national championship as well. They have some really cool national championship cups there. LSU fans, you can go get and top of the market quality as far as construction and ice retention. They got that double wall vacuum insulated stainless steel, all the logo printing, product decoration done in Knoxville, Tennessee. Tons of designs and logos offered for each school. They got the college vault line. They got everything from stainless steel sippy cups, tumblers, 40-ounce plus bottles and shaker cups. GameTimeSidekicks.com, promo code SE16 for your 20% discount. SE16 is the promo code for a 20% discount there. GameTimeSidekicks.com. Also, our friends at ROKFORM.com. They're the world's strongest magnetic phone case. They've partnered with us. You need to go to ROKFORM.com, ROKFORM.com. Cool accessories there. Speakers, golf accessories. I was looking at those. Those look pretty cool. You got the phone cases, the magnetic pieces to put in your car, to put your phone up on the dash or your motorcycle. All kinds of great accessories there. ROKFORM.com, the world's strongest magnetic phone case.
One of the things, Chase, and you're much younger, as everybody this side of Helen Keller can see by watching us. You're much younger and much better looking than I am. And I know as your kids get older and they get phones, we got 4 people in our household, and they all have the phone, of course, because that's the modern era we live in. Well, we've got like 3 different chargers that are required for the various ages of phones. And the great thing about a lot of ROKFORM's products is it's a universal magnet charger that for those trips this summer where everybody's complaining about my phone's almost dying, nobody wants a backseat full of kids with dead cell phones. So the universal charger, it screams to me as a dad with 4 phones in our household.
Yeah, there you go. So ROKFORM.com, they can handle that for you this summer. So we appreciate them and all of our partners here at Southeastern 16. We appreciate you for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Like this video. Drop a comment, LSU fans. We'd love to hear from you, your thoughts heading into this 2025 season. We'll be back with more LSU coverage and SEC football coverage right here on Southeastern 16, and we'll see you next time.